This is Dr. Andrew Jones. In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, I'm going to discuss that burning question. Should you sleep in the same bed with your dog? So should your dogs or your cats be allowed to sleep in your bed? Great question. I want to give you a little bit of context before we start today's video. This actually is my brother's house. I'm house sitting, actually farm sitting for the next couple weeks. So he'll probably be not so happy I'm using his bedroom, but I need to make my video, so here I am. I'm going to give you a brief little tour just so you can get a sense of where I'm at, and then I'll get right into this video. So here we are, we're out on the deck. In the distance there, you should see some cows. Those are the ones down that have the calves that I've been checking on. So far I've had to help out 2 calves. There's one of the many irrigation sprinklers I've been changing. There is some sheep back there. You can hear them, probably see them eating. Barnyard, farm stuff, farm truck, more farm stuff. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Should you allow your dog to be in the bed? Such as that cute black furry dog there. Perhaps just in the house, close by. Such as friendly little Ginny, who's one of my canine companions when I go on the range looking at the cows. Or not even in the house, outside. Okay guys, so here's the scoop. There's 2 really big sort of classes of thoughts. There's those, the very conservative, some of the more traditional trainers you may or may not know, who are very clear in terms of advocating no dogs on the bed, no pets on the bed. It's of their belief that you need to establish, your level of authority, that you're the dominant one, and a dog has to learn his place. He is below you. So clearly there's the conservative train of thought in terms of how you go about training your dog and their belief around whether or not your dog should be sleeping in your bed or not. Fortunately, many people are more progressive, myself being one. What I think for the most part is the reason your dog wants to be in the bed with you is he wants to be close to you, his human. I mean, you're his single biggest bond or single biggest attachment. And it's important that he's close to you. That being said, it's still important that you have your dog trained, that you follow some pretty common sense training practices in terms of that they listen, they're obedient, that they're clear that you're their master. But that doesn't mean they can't be sleeping in your bed. And in fact, my first dog that I really bonded to, his name was Hoochie. When I first started in a veterinary practice, I traveled all over. He always slept in my bed. And he was especially bonded to me. He was, adopted past the age of 6 months. This SPCA dog that no one really wanted. There are some reasons where you wouldn't want your dog in your bed. Clear if there's behavioral issues around that in terms of this dominance aggression. Where you've got a dog, for instance, who decides that not only is he sleeping in your bed, you move your foot, he growls at it. That's not okay. Or there's issues with you and your partner, where perhaps he's okay with one half of the couple. The second person comes into the bed, he growls at them. Or she growls at them. Clearly that's not okay. You need to really, there are certain basic rules around that. Or there are other dogs, my dog being one, Lewis, who has a certain amount of anxiety, especially as he's gotten older. And he would just lick and lick and lick. This anxious licking of his, just licking his lips. Even though he's well hydrated, he's had lots of water. And that gets to the point of affecting our sleep. Well, then that's not okay. Then he should not be in your bed. I think the big thing that I want to get from this video is it is very individual. It works for different people. If it works for you, you have a well-trained dog. It works for whoever you're with in your family. You guys are all on the same page. Fine, your dog can sleep in your bed. An in-between compromise be something where I have a Lewis, where he'll sleep in the bedroom. He's a bit actually big for the bed, often pretty dirty. he wants to be near somebody. It's often with our kids, maybe with ourselves. While I'm away here at my brother's, Lewis wants to be in the room with me. And he's kind of upset. He's sort of wigged out. So Ian and Brenda, if you're watching this, no, he's not in your bed, just for the video. So he's been sleeping down here beside me, not actually in the bed. Although he seems to like the bed too, because not only is he close to me, it's also especially comfortable. On the other side, or the flip side of the coin, is that, if you're looking at serious behavioral issues, perhaps there's more than just, bed sleeping or not bed sleeping, but you're looking at signs of aggressive behavior, the growling that I talked about. Obviously, that's not okay. That needs to be addressed. And if part of that happens when your dog is sleeping in your bed or your kid's bed, then just get them out of that situation. So they lose that privilege to be there. During my course of veterinary practice and just life, I've met thousands and thousands of dog owners and dogs, and surprised thousands of those dogs sleep in their owners' beds. And on the most part, my little random sampling, those are pretty darn well-behaved dogs. Whether that comes from the owners being invested, I don't know, but they were pretty well-behaved dogs being at the veterinary practice, having me do stuff to them, such as looking in their ears, trimming their nails. Because those are owners invested in making sure that their dog can be treated as well. So that's a big thing. If that works for you, it works for your family. Not only do I not see anything wrong with it, for the most part, I advocate it. One last dog sleeping benefit. I've only been here 2 nights. This is the second night. The first night, it was freezing. So yes, Lewis was down there on the bed beside me. But I was like beyond frozen. Gets weekend, he did come up in the bed, and he's also like this great source of warmth. So yep, works for me as well too. So thank you guys for watching this edition of Should Your Dog Sleep in Your Bed With You? Veterinary Secrets. I'm tired. Lewis and I are going to have a nap. Bye. It's cozy, Lewis.